Welcome to another episode of Set Talks podcast, where we break down cybersecurity in a way that actually makes sense. I'm your host for today. My name is Muiz Adigun, and today we are going deep into a topic that might just shock you: social engineering attacks. Have you ever received a call from your bank asking you to confirm your account details, or maybe an email from a colleague urgently asking you to send some files? What if I told you that cyber criminals are using psychology, trust, and urgency to manipulate you into handing over sensitive information? That's social engineering at play. Stay tuned. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to spot these attacks before you fall for them. I have here with me Favor. Favor, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. Hi listeners. It's great to be here once again for another interesting one. We'll be talking about social engineering and hacking the human mind. The rise of social engineering attacks. Uh, let's start at the very basic. What is social engineering, or what does it mean? So let's just try to break it down. Social engineering, uh, at the foundation level, is a manipulation technique that many cyber criminals use to trick people, today, and they use it to trick people into giving confidential or private information. You know, they don't hack your gadgets, they don't hack your devices, your computers. The truth of the matter is that they hack you, you know. That's what social engineering is, manipulating you, you know. So think of it like this. Imagine a thief, and this is very similar to a movie that I saw recently. Imagine a thief that wants to rob a bank, but instead of breaking in, he walks into the bank confidently, wearing a security uniform, greets everybody with confidence and tells the cashier, "Hey, I'm here for a routine money transfer." And then the cashier, trusting the uniform that he's putting on, goes ahead to hand over the money to him. That's just social engineering, as it is, manipulating you as a person, trying to hack your mind. So that's what social engineering is. you know
Okay, thank you, Favor, for that brief explanation. Can you please list some common social engineering attacks that you know?
okay. We have so many social engineering attacks, different forms of social engineering that we have today. you know this social engineering as a concept is constantly evolving, and cyber criminals will tend to use a lot of these tactics. you know uh, Social engineering, I would like to say, comes in different flavors. I just like to put it that way. It comes in various flavors, but they have one specific thing in common: to exploit the human being, to exploit the human mind, your emotions. That's just one thing that they have in common. So now let's just go through some of the common types that we have today. At the very forefront, we have phishing, which is probably the most common form of social engineering attack. You know, uh, it's the uh, it's the most popular form of social engineering attack. Let me put it that way. And this is a classic. When you get an email from quote unquote Netflix saying that your account has been suspended, you know, but then they ask you to click on a link for you to update your payment details. You then go ahead to panic and click the link. Then boom, you have been hacked. You just gave away your login credentials to a scammer without knowing, all because you trusted the quote unquote Netflix email. So uh, that's just what phishing is all about.
Thank you for that. So, how do you think our listeners can identify phishing attacks?
Okay, if you are listening, it's very there are some things you can look out for in order to identify such forms of attack. One thing I will ask for you to look out for is spelling errors. You know, spelling errors. when you look at the email that is sending you a message, or the sender of an email, check to see if the spelling of the of the sender is correct, you know, and then the sender address is accurate. Most of these scammers will try to play tricks on your mind, you know. I remember a Facebook scam that happened not quite long, where this person received an email from Facebook, but the mistake he made was ignoring the spelling. You know, Facebook has double O's, and then one of the O's was replaced with the number zero. So it looked very believable without confirming. So that was how I fell for it. For those of us that browse with our laptops, our systems, you know, those of us that use mouse or trackpads, you can hover over links. That is, you can move your cursor above a particular link to see or preview what the link has. For example, you get an email from maybe Netflix, and then they are asking you to click on an external link. Just hover your cursor over that link to see or preview what the link has embedded in it. The preview is usually displayed at the bottom left corner of the screen, so it's easy to spot. You know, if you are in doubt, you can always directly go to the website to confirm, rather than clicking on an external link. Facebook sends you an email that you should change your password. You know, rather than clicking on that link, it's better you log into the Facebook account separately, then go and change your password in the settings. You know, most of all these big corporations, all these big companies would not send you links or external links requiring for your personal details. So if you're in doubt, just go directly to the website and log in, you know, to update some of these things yourself, or to confirm if those updates are necessary. Another social engineering attack or form of attack that we have is phishing, you know, which is basically the voice phishing. You know, we talked about phishing at first, which is let me put out the spelling. Phishing. That's phishing. Then vision starts with a V, Vishing. You know, they are very similar with pronunciation, but they are different. So vision is basically voice phishing. You know, have you ever gotten like a phone call from a bank saying that there's suspicious activity? And I know this is very common with Nigerians. If you've not even experienced it, you must have heard stories, you know, where you get a call from a bank that they are noticing suspicious activity on your account, and then they will pressure you into confirming your details. And just like that, your money is gone. You know, so that's just a form of phishing, you know, under social engineering attacks, you know.
So how do you think we can identify this voice phishing attack?
Okay, it's very easy to look out for some things, uh, and it's important that we remember something. Uh, Financial institutions, banks, all these fintech organizations or institutions, they would never ask for sensitive information over the phone. They would never call you directly to ask for your personal information, you know. So one thing you can do once you get phone calls like that is to hang up, you know, is to hang up and call the official customer service line. So if they create a sense of urgency, it is a red flag. Those are the two things I want us to have in mind. Banks would never ask you for your personal information over the phone. They rarely even ask for personal information at all, not to talk of calling you to ask for your personal information. You know, so they would never ask for your personal information over the phone, and then they would never pressure you or create a false sense of urgency. Those things are red flags. Um, I would give this unique example for a social engineering attack. Imagine you are at work and then you get a WhatsApp message from your manager or your CEO telling you that you should urgently send him or her money, or gift card, whatever it may be, for a client, and that you'll be reimbursed later. You then rush to do it because, oh well, it's your boss. You want to answer him on time and carry out that task, you know, except it's not, it's not your CEO. You can always verify these things from all these unexpected requests. Call or email your boss directly. If it's someone you can see in person immediately, you can walk over to the person to see them and confirm. All these unexpected requests, all these all these requests that seem very urgent, you can always confirm. You can never be too sure. You can always confirm uh these types of requests. That's for the WhatsApp scam. you know we also have tailgating. you know tailgating tailgating, this is more of like a physical social engineering attack. It's very similar to the example that I gave earlier. So let's say you're walking into your office and then a well-dressed person is behind you and says, "Oh, I forgot my ID badge. Well, would you mind holding the door for me?" And then you let the person in without the person presenting an ID, except the person is an attacker, without you knowing. So that such a person makes his way into the office and then carries out whatever it is that they want to carry out. That's what we call tailgating, a play on the intelligence of an individual, possibly trying to gain access into an exclusive area or an exclusive office or an exclusive building. So that's what we call tailgating. Uh,
So how do you prevent this toll gating attack?
okay. You can always verify someone's um identity before letting them in. You can ask questions. You can verify the purpose of the person coming into the office. If you are not sure of something or if you are not sure of someone, you can always raise the attention or bring it to the attention of security personnel around that building or in the building. You know, you can always follow the security protocols that exist. Most buildings, most organizations, most offices that we have today, there are security protocols that are outlined for these people. So it's always important for you to follow these security protocols. you know
Okay, thank you for that. So now that we know how social engineering works, how do you think we can protect ourselves from this type of attacks?
okay.
Can you please provide some tips for this type of
Okay, I think this is probably the most important segment or talking point. How do you protect yourself? Because I've listed various forms of attacks and ways at which an individual can fall victim. You know, so how can you protect yourself? So I'm just going to give five um, five clear tips on how you can avoid or protect yourself from such attacks. One thing you should do is to think before you click. Don't be too uh, don't be too careless. You can always confirm, you can always reconfirm, you can always verify before you click a particular link. Don't trust emails, don't trust links or attachments from unknown sources. Always verify. You can never be too sure. You can never be too sure. You can always confirm over and over again if you're not sure. Another tip is to use multi-factor authentication, you know, what most people know as MFA. So for those that have accounts, social media accounts, password protected accounts, you can always enable a multi-factor authentication such that not only your password is required to log in, that is, not only your login details are required to gain access to your account. Uh, I was talking to a friend recently, and he noticed someone tried to gain access to his social media account, and how we noticed that was that he received an OTP, you know, to confirm that he's trying to log into his account, and that is an account that is already logged into his device. He received an OTP that his account is someone is trying to log into the account. So once you enable two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, you can always be rest assured that uh, bypassing your password is not just enough. You know. Another tip is to question the urgency. What do I mean by that? If someone pressures you to act immediately, or to carry out a particular action immediately, it's very important that you question or you step back and take a look at such requests or such question or such emails. If there's a sense of urgency to any email, any message, or any phone call, you know, take a step back and examine what is in front of you. Question everything. If possible, question everything. You can never be too sure. You can never be too careful. Training yourself is very, very important. Training yourself and training those around you is very, very important, because you never can tell uh, ways at which an individual can gain access to your account. You know, you can imagine giving your child your phone to make use of or to play around with, and then the phone call comes in, he or she picks it, and then the scammer guides that child or that person to read out confidential information. You know, it's important for you to train yourself and train those around you to be careful and mindful of these red flags. You know, the final tip I will give is to verify the identities of 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 the email sender. Just verifying identities generally. Whoever is sending an email, whoever is making a phone call or is trying to make phone calls or call you, or someone that is trying to gain access to a particular building, maybe your office or your apartment building or something. you know Always verify the identities. An email comes from an unknown sender and you're not sure, try to verify the sender. A phone call is coming in and then you are not sure of the person calling, try to verify the identity of the person. It's always important. So those are the 5 tips I would provide that would help individuals to stay at alert and to prevent social engineering attacks.
So there you have it. Social engineering is one of the most dangerous cyber threats because it exploits human nature. But now you are equipped with the knowledge to spot and stop these attacks before they happen. Did you find this episode helpful? Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Share this with your friends and co-workers. You might just save someone from getting scammed. Have you ever encountered a social engineering attack? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. That's it for today's episode. Stay safe online, stay smart, and I'll catch you in the next one.